welcome to this very, very special feature on Daily Reptile News. It's a little something extra that I've been planning to do for a while and finally got done, and we are going to amaze you today or tonight, whatever time you might be watching this, with an interview from Ray Autry from Rise Against Rattlesnake Roundups. Now, unfortunately, the video from this interview was, it didn't work out, but the audio was salvageable, and I ask all of you to listen. Although it's fairly long, you go about your business, listen in the background, and it's actually very educational and inspiring, and tells you what you can do to get involved to stop rattlesnake roundups.
Okay, so question number one was, tell us about your group, Rise Against Rattlesnake Roundups.
Well, Rise Against Rattlesnake Roundups was started a little over 5 years ago by, I believe, Travis Underhill, and Jared Wood definitely sparked some growth in the early days.
Mm-hmm.
Travis is from Canada, and Jared Wood is a zoology student at the University of Kentucky, and he actually grew up in a town that hosts a roundup called Waurika, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And the mission of the group is kind of to serve as an information portal where people can be made more aware of what happens at rattlesnake roundups and what we can do to, help reform them, help make them more humane. If, ending them all together really, to me, is the most ideal solution, but it's not very realistic for the communities.
Yeah.
So we want to respectfully work with people in those communities to, help roundups that are currently kill and torture festivals, such as Sweetwater or Waurika, to make the transition to things like Claxton, Georgia, which is now a no-kill, no-torture, no-wild collection roundup.
Excellent, excellent. Now, actually, it kind of brings us into the second question I had. I think anybody that's interested in reptiles, and probably anybody else, is aware of, for the most part, of what rattlesnake roundups are. Me, in the past, I've known what they are, but to be honest with you, I thought that a lot had changed in them until actually I spoke with John Taylor about them, and I found out that I was wrong, that a lot really hasn't changed with them, and it's surprising how many people believe that some of the stuff that goes on there actually doesn't happen anymore. You've been to them, correct?
I've been to several of them.
Okay, yeah, I have never been to one in my life. Can you give kind of a rundown on what's really going on with them?
Well, let me start out by saying there was a paper put forth in the early 90s, I want to say, by the Kansas Herpetological Society. And they documented a lot of stuff that was really, really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, seeing as some of the names attached to that paper, I wasn't there, I didn't see it, but I have to believe that it was probably true. Snakes were being set on fire.
Wow.
Snakes were having whiskey funneled into them. They had snake stomping contests.
Mm.
And basically, so to address John Taylor's question, from what I can see and understand based on the information I have, some things have changed, some things are not. Some of them have become more humane. Some of them still really are atrocious. They don't seem to be as atrocious as what I understand them to be in the past. But what I'm really going to focus on commenting is, and help me with this, is I'm only going to vouch for something I've seen with my own eyes.
Exactly, yeah.
Or I have on videotape, because as you know, in Waurika, Oklahoma, and Apache, Oklahoma, I videotaped 2 different instances of rattlesnakes that had had their mouths sewn shut.
I saw that, yeah.
And I have people who have attended, roundups in Texas, still they think I faked the video or something.
Hmm.
And, and here's people on the Waurika Rattlesnake Hunt Facebook page admitting to this.
Mm-hmm.
Saying things like they need to put a snake around my neck without its mouth sewn shut. So I don't know how some people deny some of these things when I've got it in video, and I'm obviously the guy that's in the video. I wouldn't go through the time and trouble to make this kind of stuff up.
Exactly.
Dude, I can barely download Skype. Do you think I can take video like that? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Now, what's in this journey to change them? What's the biggest hurdle that you've run into?
I think the biggest hurdle overall has been money.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard recent estimates of, once again, these are estimates. I don't have this information verified, but I've heard that Sweetwater can bring in $9 million a year.
Wow.
And I don't know if that's to the local economy or just the Roundup. My guess is that's the local economy.
Uh-huh.
But, I do know that in certain Oklahoma towns, with that, the entire, like furniture stores bank on the Roundup weekend and do more business that weekend than they do the rest of the entire year.
Okay.
So I think the money, one, is the biggest hurdle, how to overcome that. And I think Claxton is teaching us how to do that as we speak, Claxton, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
But also the tradition.
Yeah.
This is like deeply ingrained tradition for a lot of people. And this may sound a little extreme, but, women not being able to vote was once a tradition.
Yeah.
Slavery was once a tradition.
Exactly.
I think it was Woody Allen that said tradition is the illusion of permanence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, being a bit of a hockey fan, they're addressing, the role of fighting in hockey, whether it needs to go, whether it needs to stay. And that game has changed severely in the last 5 years. And that's just kind of one example I can link it to. As in, these festivals, I think, could still go on, could still draw in thousands, if not millions of dollars, and there'd be a lot more humane treatment to the animals.
Exactly.
I think that could totally happen.
Exactly. So now, have you had organizers of Roundups more than willing to work with you, but want ideas from you on how to bring the money in without doing what they're doing?
I've been hung up on by a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've been called an animal rights activist, a bunny hugger. I have had virtually no cooperation in that area. And other than, a few emails back and forth with some people from Georgia who were already interested in changing the Claxton.
Okay.
One, which was kind of spearheaded by the Centers for Biological Diversity and One More Generation.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely props to them. A lot of the people in Oklahoma, have not even been willing to talk to us about that issue, and that's why I'm trying to kind of stabilize the Rise Against Rattlesnake Roundups Facebook group with more admin, so I can get about the more important task I see of being, more of a diplomat for the community.
Yeah.
Because I'm finding out that, we ask people to make calls to law enforcement, because in Oklahoma, it definitely appears that under Title 20 State Statute 1685, there are felony animal cruelty violations being committed that I've seen at Oklahoma Roundups that I didn't see in Sweetwater.
Okay.
So, I kind of have a lot of connections in Oklahoma. I've lived here all my life, and I would like to start reaching out more to politicians, more to Roundup organizers, but doing so is incredibly time-consuming, and so is quarterbacking a Facebook group.
Yeah.
And doing everything I do there. So that's definitely one of my goals for the upcoming year.
Well, I mean, I've even noticed on your Facebook group you've had problems with, obviously this is a very emotional topic to some people, and trying to keep everybody organized in a calm and respectful manner seems to be a job in itself.
It is. I understand this stuff provokes a lot of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was thinking about on the way home, Jason, is do you remember when Michael Vick, the NFL football player, was found found I guess, guilty or whatever of dog fighting.
I do, yeah.
Look at the comments in the threads on, NBC or any of the news sources, CNN that covered that.
Mm-hmm.
Dog lovers, animal lovers everywhere were like, Michael Vick needs to die and burn in hell. We need to skin him alive. We need to cut him up into little pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think comments like that are constructive.
No.
But when you make the same kind of comments about rattlesnake roundups, you're much more of a radical than when you make the same kind of comment about a dog.
Oh, well, exactly, yeah.
So I definitely will not tolerate violent comments on Rise Against Rattlesnake Roundups or any site that I'm heavily involved in or I'm an admin in,
mm-hmm.
because I just don't deem it helpful. I remove violent comments from my YouTube channel. I understand people, it's an emotional issue. Dude, I drive to these things and videotape them.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you, these people don't know what it's like to watch it on YouTube versus being there.
Oh, no doubt.
I go to these things, man. Do you think I like watching, animals that I hold as dearly as a lot of people hold dogs and cats dearly, slaughtered in mass numbers?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I'm doing it because I think I have the guts to do it. I'm one of the few people I've seen that will go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying there aren't others out there. I just don't see them stepping up to the plate.
Oh, no.
And I want to get the truth out there and ultimately not even be a, hey, I'm an against or for. This is what's going on at these things. Is this right or wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Type attitude. I can definitely respect people, taking the life of an animal for food if it's done in a humane way.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not often what I see at Rattlesnake Roundups. I see torture. I see abuse. I see kids taking part in the slaughter. School buses showed up at Sweetwater this year, is my understanding.
Wow.
Sweetwater, Texas. And, kids were, from what I understand, taking part in skinning snakes. And I have video of a 5-year-old boy or 4 or 5-year-old boy skinning a snake with the help of an adult. Yes, they took a group of, first-grade kids to a slaughterhouse, and they helped skin cattle or, kill cattle. I bet you we'd have some outraged parents, if you know what I mean.
Oh, 5-year-old kid's got no business playing with a knife, let alone skinning an animal.
Or being in the vicinity of a highly venomous pit viper.
Exactly.
I definitely agree.
Exactly. So there was, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a way people can donate to the cause here.
Yes, John F. Taylor, who is a godsend, has set up a link, I think, through reptileapartment.com.
Okay.
I know the link can be found on RARR. I've been so busy with other things I haven't stayed on top of it. And Ned Bruja, who briefly had a show on Animal Planet called The Skunk Whisperer, has set up his P.O. box as a portal for donations. So whether you want to give online or whether you want to mail cash or check, we are accepting donations to further our activities. Basically, recently I made the trip to Sweetwater, and that was pretty much all out of my own pocket. I didn't raise any money for it. I ended up throwing gas on the credit card that I really couldn't afford.
Mm-hmm.
We want to continue forward with our activities. We don't feel like now is the time to let up. Roundups have had, more major media attention in the last year than in the previous 5 combined. And we don't feel like now is the time to quit, but we need some help to do it. If you can't get on the ground and help us with some of these events, can you send $5, $2, $100? And we're not a not-for-profit. We can't issue you a tax credit yet. We're working on getting there. But, it's definitely been a godsend to have technically advanced people like John F. Baylor on board and people like Ned Bruja, who have some celebrity status, step up and say, hey, this is wrong.
Yeah, well, I've worked extensively with John Taylor, and he's definitely got his heart in the right place.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, yeah. What else? Is there anything else if somebody doesn't have the money to donate and really wants to contribute, or is there something else that people can do to spreading the word? Or
bottom line is we need people contacting sponsors. You can find a list of those on Rise Against Rattlesnake Roundups. Recently, we've had posts by Sky Stevens listing the Roundup sponsors for Sweetwater. We'll be updating the ones for the Oklahoma Roundups as they come in.
Okay.
Coors, Walmart, Ford, all of these people, and it's been the local ones. I'm not saying Ford nationally, but the Ford in Sweetwater.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tanasca Trailblazer in Sweetwater is a sponsor. The Walmart in Sweetwater is a sponsor. And, you know, it can be as easy as a stamp. A lot of people like to send emails. I say send an email, but follow it up with a physical letter, because you and I both know you can set Outlook to filter certain words and send them to junk mail.
Well, it's a lot harder to delete a physical letter sitting in front of you too.
Right, and the other point is people are more apt to really read a physical letter, and someone has to get paid to open it. You can't just set Outlook to do the work for you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they don't know if that's if you write Ford in Sweetwater or Family Ford or whatever it's called, a receptionist is paid, $10 to $15 an hour to open the mail, and she doesn't know whether it's a truck payment or a letter, just voicing the disapproval of the sponsorship of the event. So I would say get the hell off Facebook. Excuse my French, but there's all these online petitions and things, and email campaigns, and definitely sharing our videos with all your friends is great. We need that. Sharing the sponsorship information is great. But if you think you're going to send 6 emails and have an effect, you're dead wrong. If you can spend $5 on postage, and even I can probably help people with that if they're sincerely interested, definitely writing sponsors, emailing these videos to major media outlets, other organizations that might can help. There are very inexpensive ways for people to get involved. Posting, vulgar or inappropriate comments on the Sweetwater JC's page, but the Waurika Rattlesnake Hunt's Facebook page is not going to get us anywhere.
Hate never gets anybody anywhere.
Right, exactly.
Excellent, excellent. Well, anything else you'd like to add?
Right now, I would just like to add that, I recently experienced my first Texas Roundup, which was the largest one in the state, which is Sweetwater. And basically, to me, it was kind of just another Roundup. It was the same stuff, different town. It was not as inhumane as some of the ones I've seen in Oklahoma. I didn't see any incidences of snakes with their mouths unshut, but I did see plenty of just really brutal decapitations, animals that weren't provided shelter or water, things of that nature. And, I would say that Sweetwater seemed to be one of the cleaner, more professional ones. The JCs in Sweetwater, Texas definitely have that thing together.
Okay.
And, it's a real professional event. And, it was kind of, it was kind of nothing new, but at the same time, it's always shocking to walk into one of these events and see 30 to 50 to 100 rattlesnakes slaughtered before your eyes. And it's just, it's real horror for me. I love these animals. I feel like I have a personal connection to them. I don't see how anyone can just kill them for novelty or fun, and make a spectacle of it, and have kids get in on the act and things like that. Just totally floors me. It floors me every time I see it. And hopefully Sweetwater is the last Roundup I videotaped for a while. Because, like I said, I want to be more involved with diplomacy, talking to politicians, talking to law enforcement. And I just haven't had the time because I've been busy doing so many other things.
Yeah.
I just want to, say to those of you who share our videos, who share our Facebook page, please understand law enforcement and government officials are watching us. Be professional. You may want to say something like, I want to punch someone in the face. Those comments are actually hurtful to the movement.
And illegal.
I'm sorry?
And illegal in some states.
Yes, and illegal in some states. And also, these are things that the Rounduppers are saying about me and some other people who have taken a stand against them. Let's not appear as unprofessional as they are. Let's be professionals. And, let's bring an intelligent, educated argument to the table about, these events and what's going on at them. We don't need to look as uncivilized as they are.
Exactly. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ray. We'll get this up everywhere we can and see if we can't get some more help headed that way.
I definitely appreciate the help, and please make sure the video gets up if it can, because I need more people to recognize me.
Absolutely. We'll be working on it all weekend long if necessary to get it up there.
Well, Jason, I want you to know that I really appreciate the support you've thrown behind RARR. I really appreciate the fact that you've given us multiple shout-outs, that you've let me post anything I need to. And, man, keep doing what you're doing at Daily Reptile News. I'm definitely a fan.
Thank you very much, Ray.
Thank you, Jason.
I'm just a native individual at a pivotal point. Declining this bitch, physical as I rip to annoy every last man standing through this outlandish panic. Worldwide famine, with hopes outstanding. We all try planning, but the luck of the draw keeps the eternally flawed and an infinite fall. With the clip in the claws, the Lord's picking you off for sipping a soft drink while you're tripping up north. It all seems tragic, they all stay laughing like I'm cursed with black magic or hurt with John Maddock, all play by play. I take it day by day and walk by faith to bury the hate with each step I take and breath I make. My spirit escape and left by faith in Christ. Damn. Where's my God-given soul, so I steadily flow and weather each road.